Hey there friends, I hope you're doing well. It is time for a new build! I'm so excited! If you've been following my Instagram, you know that I have been working on the Sinister Seal build from Monster Hunter. It is a layered armor that you get from scanning the Magnamalo amiibo figure thing. So you scan that and then it gives you the armor, and it's a layered armor, so it goes on top of your armor. So like you look really cool, but it does nothing. But I mean, when you look cool, you fight cooler. Duh, that's how math works. So I'm going to be doing this build the same way that I did my Daedric armor build. I'm going to be building everything first, and then we'll be painting at the very end. I will be painting at the very end in its own separate video because I like to mix my own paint colors. And how is there a long hair on me when I shaved my head a month ago? What? Where did that hair come from? So to avoid any like unmatching paint, I'm just gonna paint everything all at once, and that will be at the very end. So right now I am over halfway done with this build. I just have the legs left and I'm very excited. But today we are going to be focusing on the wig, the headpiece itself in general, and then the mask as well. Just so you all know, like 99% of the foam throughout this build was sent to me by TheFoamory. I absolutely love TheFoamory. I've been using their foam for years now. It is my all-time favorite foam that I've ever gotten. I'll link them in the description, but you can find them on Amazon. But it is a wonderful high-density foam. It holds its shape really well, and all of the details are holding perfectly. Absolutely best foam I have ever used. So 10 out of 10. I will link that in the description as well as everything else that I use. And let's go ahead and just hop into the tutorial. So first I tried on my Jenny classic wig in lilac from Arta Wigs, and it was very long. So I gave it a cut to start. Next I started trimming up the bangs. Then I put the ponytail into its permanent position, and I attached the ponytail extension by just sewing it into place. My husband helped me hold the ponytail up while I wrapped nylon webbing around the base of the ponytail, and then I glued it into place. My Flemeth wig took all of my wig making brain cells, and honestly, I wanted to work on the armor instead of a wig, so I just added a few spikes at the base of the ponytail by teasing the hair, spraying it, blasting it with my heat gun, and lightly brushing it out. I will link a video, a good spiky video. And I did that until I was happy with the amount of spikes. And I did the same exact thing to the bangs as well. I don't think I filmed this, but I also airbrushed the wig with a dark purple to give it a little more dimension. Next, I made the little cuff that goes around the ponytail with 6mm foam and a 4mm edging piece. I also 3D modeled and printed this little gem for the cuff. So for the mask, I made a pattern of the teeth by sizing up my image to my measurements and then tracing the teeth in paint.net. Make sure to do this in a layer so that you can just copy the pattern and then print it out. I also made a pattern of the horns, the purple wing things, whatever these are, and then these side pieces on the mask. So you can resize photos in paint.net or really any photo editing software to your height, which is what I did with my reference images of myself. I made them 68 inches, and then I take my in-game screenshots and I fit them to my reference image, and that's how I got the proper sizing for everything. For the mask itself, I am using a mask pattern by KamuiCosplay. I cut out all the pieces and I glued them together. This was made with 6mm foam. After that, I print my teeth pattern and I cut out the teeth, making it easier to trace on to the mask. I realized after tracing that this pattern came out a little bit too small, so I blew it up, reprinted it out, and tried again. This gave me a perfect guide to start building up the foam clay. I used water to help adhere the foam clay to the mask and also smooth it out a little bit. Nice sharp teeth. Ooh, scary. So scary. I used my fingers and clay tools to help shape the clay. While that dries, I start on the side piece. I also make this little detail out of 2mm foam and I glue that onto the mask. This side piece was cut out of 6mm foam. Here I'm cutting out that purple piece. It's only on one side of the mask, so I only have to do this once. I trace it on a 2mm foam and then I glue them together. The horns were made of 6mm foam. All of the sides of the horn, all of those pieces are all beveled on one side, which is why they come to that point. I then cut out the headband from 4mm foam and I traced out where the magnets will go. These magnets are really strong. I'm actually kind of afraid of like sticking them back together. So as you can tell, I ended up breaking this one, just kind of cracked in half. So yeah, very strong, a little too strong maybe. Next I made the pattern for the little spikes that'll go on the side of the headband, and then I cut out those little spikes from 2mm foam and I glue them on with some Barge. To set the magnets, I glue them with Gorilla Glue and I let that dry overnight. I use a 240 grit sanding drum to clean up the seams on all the pieces, and I also added some detail to the mask feather things with one of my small detailed bits. After everything is sanded, I heat them up with my heat gun to seal the foam and melt all the fuzzies. Then I just assemble the rest of the pieces. The foam clay gets one final sand with some high grit sandpaper. Finally, I prime everything with 2 coats of Plasti Dip. I use a piece of 2mm foam for the eye patch piece, and the light is just a single green diode connected to a battery with a connector. I shape the eyepiece to my face with a strip of Warbler along the nose, and the battery sits inside of my bodysuit and I tuck it into the neck. So I have it taped in right now. Sorry, my chair is making so much noise. is just breaking. So that's the LED right there. I might drill out this hole a little bit more just to, I mean, this is fine. It doesn't need to be anything extra than this. And then I have it taped in, as you can see. And then there's that strip of Warbler that contours to my face. So it just, you know, goes perfectly over my face. Oh my God, you can see my freaking burn. Ew, don't look at it. I'm just gonna use that hand. I burned myself really bad on my soldering iron because I'm dumb. So it's connected to this battery. It says Nintendo on it. I don't remember what battery this is. I don't remember what this is for. This just comes apart and then the LED is off and then I can charge the battery and then I can travel with it because I'm taking this costume to ASIN. So similar to my Flemeth wig, this wig just plops off of my head like Lego hair. And here's a little look at the magnets on the inside. There are 3 of them. I might sew them in, but for now they're just kind of free floating in there.
You would think that I would be disappointed.
Hey, what? Sebastian, look.
Hey, we're working.
Sebastian, turn around.
Thank you all so much for watching and for hanging out with me. Feel free to subscribe if you like building stuff too, or if you want to see how the rest of this build goes, because spoiler alert, it's turning out really well. Like much better than I was expecting. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Anyway, I will see you guys next time for the next installment of this build. Probably the breastplate and the pauldrons, because that was huge. They're huge. They are gigantic. They have no reason being as big as they are, and I love them so much. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Bye.